one way that you could maybe provide some access to this is to use more image-based interactions with content, both in terms of picking out details associated with one of these roles and then doing at least some basic sorting activity with images to have them demonstrate that they understand which artifacts might be associated with each. So in this case, we've created a organizer in Inspiration, and the images that you see representing the different roles are all straight from the Inspiration organizer, Inspiration image bank. And the first thing I'm going to do is just do away with the handwriting area here, which I'll click on this A and make that disappear. It'll give me a little more real estate on my screen. And then I've put the directions up top here, but maybe I want to resize this a little bit and make this a little bigger. And I'll move my symbol library over to the side. And so what we've done in this case is created an organizer that's more image-based. And for the example here, I'm going to use the example of the surf because we've located some images related to him. And so I'm going to click on that image, and you'll notice that there's a little note icon next to that. When I click on that note icon, it opens up a note, and in there I've just put some hyperlinks to some pictures. And so for a student who might really struggle with this, just having links to some images, and when I click on those, it's going to open a website with that image. And just to give them a sense of what are some details in the life of the surf, and rather than necessarily interacting with text or even video, this may be a more approachable way to understand this for some students. And so each one of those images is going to open up a different picture that represents the life of a surf. And what we'll do is just to ask them to really kind of take a look at those and try to pick out details of those. And for some students who are much more visual, this may be something they can benefit from. And of course, you would need to give them some guidance on picking out, the important details versus the extraneous details. And these images, all the images that are shown here for picking out details of the life of the surf, are all located in Britannica Image Quest, which is a nice resource that some schools may have a subscription to. I think all schools right now in Montgomery County Public Schools do, and all middle schools, I'm sorry. And the nice thing about this is if you were searching for images, and let's say I'm looking for images for a surf, and I type that in the search box, and you can see that it's going to end up with a lot of different images here. And this can be a nice way for students who want to do some research with images in a safer way besides Google, but still generates enough curriculum-related content in terms of images that they can work with them. And the really nice thing about this Image Quest is as they're searching for images, as soon as they click on a plus sign, it'll add it to their lightbox. And what that means is if you're searching for images as a teacher, or a student searching for images as part of a research project, and maybe they're just trying to get ones that they want to go back to later, it's automatically going to add them to this thing called their lightbox. And when they click on the lightbox, you'll see that it's saved all of them, and then they're able to they can download them or print them, and you can also right click and copy on them. But just by downloading them, it'll allow them to get them all in one file that they can work with. So this can be a nice way to be able to search for and work with images for both teachers and students. Going back to our organizer, after they've gone through and explored those images, they can X out of the note. And then what they're asked to do is to sort some of the artifacts that will go along with the surf. And I've just put a few here. And again, these are all from the Inspiration symbol library, which has a pretty extensive list of different types of images that you can search for in there that are a little more clear to put into an organizer. And so let's say they go through, and what you want them to do is to demonstrate which ones are associated with the surf. And you could do this in one of two ways. A simple way with them to be just to click and maybe drag and sort some of these that are near the surf, or if you want to show them which ones would go with different roles, you could do that as well. But in this case, we just want them to pick out which ones would go with the surf. And so most students would be able to just click and drag those images over near the appropriate role. An alternative to that, which is a little more complicated but may work for some students, is actually linking the images to that role. And so I click on the role, and then you can do one of two things. You can click on the little triangle next to the role, drag that over to link, or you can click on the role and just click link at the top, and then click which ones you want it to go to. So after they've finished, they'll have a list of those images that are linked. And the advantage of doing this in this format is that, let's say you wanted it to be generated to turn in, they could print out the organizer just as is. So they would do File, Print, and you can print out this organizer, and it'll just print this one area that you could then turn in. Alternatively, what you could do is you could actually just print this out from the very beginning and have students interact with this on paper and just draw lines from the surf to those images that would be those artifacts that would be associated with a surf. One thing, if they do this in Inspiration and do draw connections with this, it does lend itself to generating more of an outline, where you could see that now what I have is a listing in Word form of those things that are associated with the surf. And I can always go back to my diagram as well. So whether it's paper or whether it's something that they do on the computer, this is one way that you can pair a resource like ImageQuest with Inspiration to generate a more usable organizer for many students. And then obviously, because this is an Inspiration, other students could use this to take notes in text form as well. And you have the option of students recording their voice in the organizer as an alternative way of responding or organizing their thinking on a topic.